All right, you've got a handful of images in the lecture module, and I asked you. All right, you've got a handful of images in the lecture module, and I asked you some questions. So I just wanted to kind of make some conclusions for you. Usually we'd talk this over in class and we'd come to these conclusions together, but this is what it is. So the first image you have, and each of these images is really perceptions of women, how women are perceived in the New World. In this image, you have a woman who is naked, quite visibly naked. Like, she looks naked to us in 2020, so she's really going to look naked to somebody in the 16th century. So she's not only naked, but she's also reclined, which is suggestive in the ways in which they've positioned her in this image. And then I also put there the text, the caption in Latin, and the ways in which the meaning changes according to how you interpret a couple of the words. Also pretty suggestive in terms of the sexual availability of women. Now the second image you have, if you had this in color, you would see that their hair is blonde, their features are certainly more European than indigenous. And so what you want to think about there is, why are they drawing European women in the Americas? And this goes back to that first question I asked you about, like, why? What's the purpose of these images? And the purpose of all of these images is advertising. They're trying to lure people to the New World. And so if you want to sell something, you put a beautiful woman in the picture. And that's what they did in the 16th century as well. And their understanding of what's beautiful, of who is beautiful, is a European woman, not an indigenous woman. And so they've put these women naked again on a field planting seeds. And so again, think about what you're saying there about the fertility of the land and also the fertility of the women, right? You're suggesting that the land is fertile, the women are fertile. Come here, like, again, trying to lure people here. And the last couple of images you have, the first image, White actually came here. And historians think that his drawings are actually still certainly biased, but he was trying to capture what he saw. And so a little bit more like truthful, if you will. And so if you look at his image of the two people seated at their mat, they're sitting, having some food together. But check out Debrais' image, the image right underneath it. Like that one, there's a bounty. He's got, the land is drawn in the back. There's nothing there. It's empty. It's vacant. Just waiting for people to come settle and take and take and take. There's a bounty of food in front of them. Notice how they're seated too. In White's image, the image on the top, they're squatted, but it's an active squat. Whereas in Debrais' image, the second image, they are just kind of like lounging, and like the food just like falls in their lap. Right? Again, there's just a bounty here in the New World. You've got to come, it seems to be saying. And then too, look at the facial expression of the women in White's image and in Debrais' image. In White's image, she's not even really looking at us. She's kind of like looking off to the distance, and if anything, she looks amused. But in Debrais' image, she has quite a seductive look, kind of a come hither expression. So again, suggestive of the ways in which these images were largely depicting not just the availability of the land, but also the availability of women. All right, if you have any other questions, you can leave those in the discussion board with this module. Take care.